The headlines. Protest enters day 3 as organizers Shun calls to end demonstrations. Minister appeals to Nigerians to suspend the nationwide protest. Abducted Kogi local government chairman regains freedom. And away from Nigeria, at least 32 killed in Al-Shabaab beach attack in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for staying with us on the details. The nationwide protests against hunger have entered the third day, with protesters in Lagos gathering at the Ojota end of the day. While only a handful of them was around in the early hours of the day, the number, however, increased with time. They had placards with different inscriptions to show up momentum for their demands, which included the reversal of the fuel subsidy, among others. The protesters, who chanted different songs, lamented the insensitivity of the government to the plight of the ordinary Nigerians, especially in the wake of the devaluation, which has seen the value of the naira slump to a historic low. Police officers were on the ground at the rally venue to ensure a hitch-free procession. The protesters vowed to take protests to Alausa, other strategic places in Lagos.
To discuss now. I'm saying this so that we don't come and repeat the same thing. Social revolution, social revolution, social revolution, social revolution.
In the FCT, the protesters were seen at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja for day 3 of the Hash and Bad protest.
We are hungry. What are we saying? We are hungry. What are we saying? We are hungry. Tinubu shall walk it. Tinubu shall walk it. My God, I've never seen your time. Jesus, listen. Now don't go. You can go. This government. I never see your time. Go. Jesus. As of when these protests have been going on, it is the police that have been violent on the harmful protestants. People that were holding just placard. Police have been throwing not just tear gas, live ammunition in the capital territory of Abuja, Nigeria. Who does that? I come out here to pass on wrong information. The police have been violent on us. The police have brutalized us. The police have infringed on our fundamental rights.
In Port Harcourt, the protesters converge at the Pleasure Park in the state capital. Other parts of the city are largely quiet, but the protest venue is becoming a beehive of activities as the demonstrations gather steam. Some of them were spotted waving the Nigerian flag, insisting on not backing down from the protest despite calls for them to return home. Officers of the counter-terrorism unit of the Rivers State Police Command, dressed in red headgear, were at the venue in what could be described as a show of force. In Benin City, the Edo State capital, protesters were seen in the street protesting the harsh and bad governance.
Protest don't go, Benin boys don't here.
Delta State, the protesters are already gathering at a forum roundabout Warri.
Yeah, it's the other protesters are here. You guys should come out.
Day 3 of the harsh and bad governance protest in Shun State. Protesters were seen on the streets chanting. We will definitely keep you up to speed and bring you subsequent update. Maiduguri residents have appealed to the state government to end the curfew imposed in the state capital. The second day of the protest experienced a 3 hours relaxed curfew for Muslims to observe the Jumu'at prayers. Beatrice Kurutsi tells us more.
It was reported that Gwange community in the Maiduguri metropolis made efforts to continue the hunger protest but were resisted by the security agencies. Meanwhile, the Borno Police Command in a statement relaxed the curfew from 12 noon to 3 p.m. for Muslims to observe the Jumat prayers. After the prayers, it was a rush hour for residents to return home. Some residents appealed to the state government to suspend the curfew for businesses to resume. It's not good, but we don't have a choice. I couldn't get what I need at home before the curfew. I advise the government to consider the poor masses at this moment.
The best thing that is paining us is that everything's at home. Every family, we are crying of insufficiency of food, and standard of living of the people now becomes somehow around the whole of the state. And we want Mr. President to know and understand that the constraint that we are inside, to set up emergency and design a plan and provide good evaluation and to get the good result to the masses of the country. We are in critical condition.
They said they have reduced the price of a bag of rice to 40,000 naira. Where is it? The curfew life is difficult. Take a look at it. We are all home with our families and nothing to feed. The hunger keeps increasing. Foodstuffs are expensive. No movement, no electricity. So we want them to take action. The curfew will continue from 3 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. Until then, Maiduguri will know if the government will consider suspending the lockdown. Beatrice Kurutsi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
In the meantime, Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Az-Zulum has lifted the curfew imposed in the aftermath of the Kauru bomb blast that resulted in the death of 16 people and left several others critically injured. The government on Friday temporarily relaxed the curfew to allow Muslims to observe the Jumu'at prayers. Making the announcement in a statewide broadcast, the governor, while consoling with families of affected victims, said it was necessary to impose the curfew to avoid Boko Haram elements from taking advantage to wreak havoc in the state. Governor Zulum said the protest in the state was hijacked by hoodlums who made several attempts to destroy public infrastructure, but for the timely intervention of the military and other security agencies. While charging residents to go about their normal activities, he said that the security of the state will not be compromised for any reason. Still in Borno State, the State Police Command says it has discovered 6 projectile grenades allegedly abandoned by terrorists at Ajilari Cross area in Maiduguri. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Yusuf Lawal, who disclosed this on Saturday while giving a situation report in Maiduguri, said the projectiles were discovered on Friday. Lawal said personnel of the Explosive Ordnance Device Base 13 deployed to the scene to assess the grenades said they were manufactured with incendiary chemicals. He said the affected area was thoroughly screened while the projectiles were recovered intact, rendering the area safe. Lawal explained that another violent incident occurred on the same day in Bassam Galomari village, Gubio 2 ward, under Gubio local government area. According to him, the herdsmen with their cows allegedly entered a farm belonging to a resident, leading to a confrontation. He added that security agencies have been mandated to respond to the situation with a view of resolving the crisis. The Minister of Steel and Development, Shaibu Audu, has appealed to Nigerians to suspend the nationwide protest against the current government, assuring citizens that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is working to fix the current challenges facing the country. Audu made the appeal in a statement issued by his special assistant on media, Lizzie Okoji, on Friday in Abuja. He urged protesters to exercise a little more patience and trust the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu. According to him, the thrust of the current administration encompasses strategic plans and policies that will drive Nigeria to economic prosperity, improved welfare, education and health systems, improved social amenities, food security, and infrastructural development, amongst many other needs when implemented. The minister further appealed to Nigerians to shun the protest following intelligence report from security and law enforcement agencies of miscreants with plans to hijack the protest to cause mayhem and breakdown of law and order across the country. The People's Democratic Party, the PDP, has criticized President Bola Tinubu for not addressing the nation amid the nationwide End Bad Governance protest. Amid severe economic hardships, many Nigerians are struggling to afford basic necessities. In response, youth began protests on Thursday, continuing into Friday across Abuja, Lagos, Kaduna, Kano, Rivers and other regions, demanding an end to hunger and poor governance. In a statement released on Saturday by its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olugunagba, the PDP urged Tinubu to break his silence, address the nation immediately, and reassure citizens of the pressing issues affecting them. The opposition party also demanded a comprehensive investigation into the reported killing of unarmed Nigerians, allegedly by security operatives. Now, joining us via phone call is our reporter in Shun State, Hamid Oyegbade, to give us updates on the situation on the End Bad Governance protest. Good afternoon, Hamid.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah,
how are
good
you?
to have you. So, what is going on currently, in the protest or concerning the protest in Shun State?
The protesters are still on the road. They started again this morning, and they've moved around major and strategic locations in Osogbo, the state capital. And right now, they around the Dada estate towards the area they called Omabolanle roundabout. And then when they go around like that, the way they have been doing it in the last 2 days, that is since August 1, they will go around and eventually they will come back to the Olaya intersection where they usually terminate the protest. So right now they are moving towards that Olaya intersection. And so by the time they get to the Olaya intersection, they will terminate the protest for today. They will disperse, and then hopefully they may come back tomorrow to continue the protest.
Been a call for them to, call off this protest so far. Have you interacted with the organizers of this protest or the leaders in Osun State on if they have any thought of stopping the protest?
No, there is no any indication to suggest that they are likely to stop the protest for now, because they are insisting that until their demands are met by federal and state government, that they will continue to come out for the protest.
What is the relationship like with the security agencies around the areas and the protesters?
The protesters are relating very cordially with the security operatives. There was heavy deployment of security men since August 1, since the protest started, that is on Thursday. So all over the places, there are policemen and men of the security, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, men of the DSS, and other security agencies, including the immigration. So these security men were also deployed to some critical facilities, including radio stations and other government facilities, to prevent any breakdown of law and order or any attack on these facilities, including the government house, the governor's office, and the State House of Assembly and the court. So once these protesters move around, there are some policemen and other security men moving along with them, and their base where they usually terminate the protest, there are currently a lot of policemen and other security operatives, standing by there. And the moment they come back, they will receive them, and they are interacting closely to the extent that the protesters are also commending policemen and other security operatives, working or probably them during the protest.
Yeah. Now, quickly, is there any talk from the governor's camp? We've seen other governors or some governors address their people. What about the Osun State governor?
The Osun State governor has not come out openly to speak to them since they started this protest, except before the protest. I mean, prior to the protest, that is 2 days before the protest, the governor of Osun State, Senator Nuruddin Jackson Ademola Adeleke, conferred a meeting of stakeholders, including the civil society organizations, religious leaders, youth leaders, and some other critical stakeholders, where they discussed, with the security operatives to, ensure that the protests will not turn violent and it will be peaceful. And I think it was based on that arrangement and on that discussion they had earlier that these protesters have been conducting themselves in a very peaceful manner. In fact, on the first day of the protest, when the protesters, moved to the State House of Assembly, some elements among them wanted to, enter into the House of Assembly complex. But those that are coordinating and leading the protest told them point blank that anybody who moved into the House of Assembly premises is no longer, is no more part of the protest and should be taken and treated as a criminal. And they told the policemen, and upon that, all the protesters, stayed away, from the premises. So they only confined themselves to the entrance of the House of Assembly, where the leaders of the protesters addressed, the gathering, and then really presented some demands to the legislators, and they turned back right from there, and they moved back to the Olaya intersection, where they gyrated, they sang, they interacted among themselves, and a few minutes later, they called off the protest for the day.
All right, that's really impressive. We'll definitely keep in touch for subsequent updates. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on still, protesters in Jos, the Plateau State capital, has been applauded for conducting themselves peacefully so far. They were commended for always cleaning venue of the protest at the end of each day. The State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Musa Ashom, applauded the protesters in a statement in Jos on Saturday. He acknowledged that the decision of the protesters to clean up the streets after their demonstration is a testament to their civic consciousness and love for their community. Moving on from there, the caretaker chairman of the Kababunu local government area of Kogi State, Zacchaeus Dare, who was abducted on Friday night by gunmen, has regained his freedom. The state's police public relations officer, William Aya, confirmed this on Saturday morning. Aya said the caretaker chairman was kidnapped on Friday night along the Kaba Okene Road in the Kaba area of the state. The Kogi PPRO explained that the chairman escaped from the kidnappers while his aides were taken by the abductors to an unknown destination. But a statement on Saturday by the All Political Forum indicated that the chairman was released by his abductors. The family of Hussaini Turaki, who was shot on the first day of the hunger protest in Kaduna State, is calling to the government to come to their aid. According to the family, the victim was shot while on his way to the hospital at Tudunwada. Trust TV's Bellamus visited the family residence at Abakwa in the metropolis. Take a look.
It was a black day for this family, as their father was shot on the day of the protest, though he was not part of the protest. But he lost his life as a result of violence that erupted.
Yusuf Danso Hospital. They should come and pay for the medical. He now just carried his bag on his way going. Police started shooting. They're now shooting at the back of his head. The person that is carrying on top of the machine, he fall, he broke his jaw, and he was shot at his stomach. He's still in the 44 hospital up to now.
The already devastated family says his death has created a great vacuum.
We are in pains and have no one to feed us at this time. He would go out every day and fend for us. He was not part of the protest. He was only on his way to the hospital to see his daughter, who was admitted. There he met his death.
He died and left 13 children and 7 dependents living in the rented home.
We're on the rent house, so we don't know how to do. Our issue is that we need government to intervene into this issue. For government to bring that police that shot him and to know how they will do with his children.
And he is the one helping us. He's already died. We don't have anybody now. Please, government, enter this issue.
The remains of Hussaini Turaki was laid to rest at the Agbapa cemetery as relatives and sympathizers pray for the repose of his soul. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
At least 32 people have been killed and many more wounded in a suicide bombing and gun attack on a popular beach in Somalia's capital, Mogadishu. Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda-linked armed group claimed responsibility for the attack on Lido Beach late Friday via an affiliated radio station. The assault began when a suicide bomber blew himself up at entrance of Beach View Hotel. The other attackers tried to storm the hotel and also fired on people on the beach, where many residents were walking or sitting, according to witnesses and police. Reports say security forces killed all the attackers at the scene and captured another one who was driving a car filled with explosives, adding that one soldier was killed and another injured. Somalia's federal government condemned the attack, state media reported on Saturday. And in sports, the Minister of Sports Development, John Owan Eno, has again raised questions about Favour Ofili's submission for the 2024 Olympics, saying officials of the Nigerian Olympics Committee have not slept since the discovery. Ofili was supposed to compete in the 100-meter race at the Games, but her name was, however, omitted, a development that has raised questions among stakeholders. While giving an update on Ofili's submission, Eno said Nigerian officials are working on getting to the root of the matter. And with that, we wrap up the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.